Hello everybody, we're going to start a YouTube channel for Pace, and this is the inaugural first episode of more to come. As you see, I've got my my mask on. We are wearing masks here. Rhonda is back there social distancing 6 feet on the other side of me. As you all know, Pace has not had any participants come into our facility unless there are acute needs for assessments and the like. Otherwise, all of you guys that have enjoyed coming to our gym, you'll see that everything is kind of the same as it's always been. We've still got our bicycles. We've got games, of course, that we like to play. Here's a new one we fished out of storage somewhere that's a lot of fun, a weighted ball and sort of cornhole, if you guys have played that beanbag toss game. I didn't invent the name, that's just what it's called. We also have a couple of new therapists here. Here's one of our new therapists. His name is Dino the Dinosaur. And he has a weight in one hand for some reason, I don't know why. But when you pull back, you'll see that it's not really a dinosaur. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I want to introduce you guys to our new therapy staff, new-ish. Many of you guys have probably met Remy. Remy, when did you start?
6 months ago.
6 months of Remy here has been wonderful. He's going to be the main exercise guy here at the Eureka program. And then Remy said to us, well, Fortuna could sure use this other fellow I know who I run with and who I went to kinesiology, my kinesiology program with at HSU. And that's Aaron, or as we like to call him, Aaron. Hey, Ron. Aaron, you can often know him by his interesting socks, and he's sort of long-limbed, and his socks often, therefore, show. And he takes full advantage of it. He owns it. Cool cat, everybody. Remy and Aaron, and Rhonda behind the phone there. I'm going to turn this around and let you see.
Hi,
there's
everybody.
Rhonda. Yeah, so she's still wonderfully sort of holding us all together here in the way that Rhonda does so well. One of the things that we're going to do in our YouTube videos is show you guys exercises you can do at home. So the first thing I'd like to show you is really a basic exercise that will do more than just strengthen your legs. It's really important for helping control swelling. If swelling is a problem, you may have heard of this scary thing called blood clots. Some pretty famous people have gotten them from long plane rides. Seems like maybe Vice President Dick Cheney got one blood clot 10 years ago after a long plane ride. Anyway, so what I usually tell folks is to make sure you're holding on to something like a table or a kitchen cabinet's a very nice place to do this. Get your feet shoulder width apart and just come up onto your toes. And you really feel your calves squeezing together. And every time you squeeze, it helps bring fluid up from your feet, up into your upper legs, and eventually dumps into your abdomen to make it back into your circulation. And I usually tell people 10 or 15 of these a couple of times a day is usually enough. You can also do a modified version of this when you're sitting. It won't do quite as much strength training wise as having your body weight, but when you're lying, we just kind of call them ankle pumps. It's really the same exercise you see. Or when you're lying in bed with your feet up, even up on a pillow if you do this, then it really helps bring the fluid out of your lower legs and headed back into your general circulation where it should be. And hopefully avoid if you do have swelling, avoid the need for medications or compression garments. Another really good exercise to do standing at your sink, we're pretending again this is your sink, is we call them leg windshield wipers, or just hip abduction training. Abduction means to move your foot away, nothing magical to the word. Just like that. Both legs, you've got two legs, you don't want the other leg to get jealous. People can either lead with their toes, lead with their heels. If you've had hip surgery, be sure and give us a call first before you do these. Sometimes with hip surgeries, we have some specific things for you to do, specific changes to make to your program. So, yeah, again, 10 or 15 of those. A final exercise that you can do is sort of good for your balance as well as a good general strengthening exercise. And it's trying to stand up and sit down using your hands as little as possible. So, using your hands a lot, as you see there, nicely brings my triceps in, quadriceps and gluteus. But then if you can, using your hands even less and less, so that you're using mostly your legs. You can put your feet wider apart if you have balance concerns, closer together if you don't. With these exercises, I usually recommend somebody stand nearby you, have a belt around you, a gait belt like we like to use here. And then after you've talked to us, we can say whether or not we think it's a good idea for you to do them independently. In addition to that, many of the folks, many of you guys have gotten bean bags, and I've got bean bags. Right here. So for you all that have been given a care package that includes bean bags, what I like for you guys to do is you can really make up your own exercises. I made these up on my own. They weren't in any physical therapy textbook, but you basically just, my favorite word, fiddle with it. You fiddle with that bean bag, and it gets you back in touch with your feet. People tend to lose connectivity to their feet as we get older, and this sort of helps you keep that connectivity. So you can fiddle with it. You can try to put it up on one foot like I'm unable to do, and then kind of move it around. You'll drop it, sure, it doesn't matter. Pick it up, put it on your other foot, move it around, right? One final exercise I like to show people with the bean bag is to try to toss it up in a manner that you can get to it without having to stand and reach. So many people, when they do this one, here's the first thing their first effort will be like that, and now you can't reach it. So that's doing it not correctly. So the way I like to see people do this, and the reason I want them to do it this way, is it really makes your whole leg sort of pay attention to what the other joints in that leg are doing. So you take it and you throw it up nice and high, but so that it lands right back between your feet. And you may or may not notice this, but what I'm doing is I'm really pulling my toes back with each flip. And that works this muscle on the front of your leg. Right here, I'm going to show you my legs, everybody. It works this muscle on the front of your leg, you maybe can see it, that lifts your toes up, and that's what controls whether or not you perhaps don't trip over something on the floor. Perhaps you may have a change of height, a door threshold, or an oxygen cord, and people tell me that the people who have fallen will say they thought they lifted their foot up and up, but they didn't. They stubbed their toe, and it's all because of this muscle, really, and the control you have over it and how it relates to the rest of your leg. And this is a nice, good, safe way to work that muscle and get it to really paying attention to what you're doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this first YouTube video from our PACE program. I'd like to again thank Rhonda for being my production manager, and my co-stars Aaron and Remy, and Dino the dinosaur. Take a bow, Dino the dinosaur. You guys, we miss all of you all, and we're going to have some fun again when you guys come back here. I look forward to it. Take care.